guests and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or Tom at TrentoVision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and TrentoVision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Okay, at 4:06. 6 minutes after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 6 minutes after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of afters. 4:06 in the afternoon, East Coast time. So what is that in California to our little friends out there? 1 o'clock.
1:06.
6 minutes. Yeah, 1:06. What about our friends in Israel?
11:06.
Italy.
I don't know.
6 hours.
Is it the same?
No,
it's an
6.
hour difference,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
So 10 o'clock. And we have friends in Italy. Yes, we certainly do. We got friends
Are
all
they
over
in
the globe.
Trento, Italy?
There is a Trento, Italy.
Yes,
I
there
know.
is. Yes. One of my dreams in life is to go to Trento, Italy. And
Hey, I'm Tom. My dad owned this town.
my town. This is my town.
My kind of town.
You know?
Trento is my kind of town.
If I had a credit card, I'd throw my credit card down and go, there you go. See that? I'm buying the town. It's in. I've actually passed by it, driving from Venezia to Milano, in an Alfa Romeo at about 130 miles an hour, trying to stay away from the Cabernet. They had a little sign that said that way to Trento, but I didn't have time to go up into the Alps. It's a little Italian town up in the Alps, but we are not from there. My family is not from there. Because those are all the like blonde hair, blue-eyed Italians that speak German, like make-believe Italians. Northern Italy. I'm from all the way down the bottom and even further. I'm from my own country, Sicily. So Sicily and Italy are really like two different countries in many respects. In fact,
weren't they?
In fact, I think this is just a dream that I had. I don't think it's true. But when I used to go to, when I dreamt that I went to funerals when I was a little kid of someone in the neighborhood, and I grew up in Newark, New Jersey.
Which is what exit?
Yeah, what exit? That was 146. Bloomfield Avenue, 146. Everybody knows that. Exit 146 is where the Sopranos are. If you get off at 146 from the Garden State Parkway and you go toward downtown Newark, that's where I lived. If you go to the left, it was the suburbs up in Montclair and Fairfield and all of Verona. And the way it worked, everybody growing up in the inner city in Newark, New Jersey back then, all blue-collar workers, families are from Sicily. And if you did well, if your bakery did well and your little side job did well, if everything worked well, you moved up Bloomfield Avenue and you moved into the Caldwells or the Verona to the bigger houses up there. And Tony Soprano in that TV show, he lived up in one of those big houses, which was actually filmed there. But as I remember in a dream, speaking of Sicilians and Italy, at the funerals of someone who would die, whether a relative or a neighbor in the area, the men would be speaking. There was always federal agents at our funerals for some reason. Parked outside and all of that. And the assumption was they got in somehow. And everybody would switch from speaking Italian to speaking Sicilian. So it's a different dialect, a little harder for the average the average G-man to understand. But notwithstanding that dream, my desire was to go into the FBI when I was a little kid. And I was headed that way. Did a degree in law enforcement. You had to go either in those days through law or through accounting. And I was going through the law track. then my life changed. That's a whole nother story. We'll tell you about another time.
Well, of course, why wouldn't you want to go in the FBI? You're full-blooded Italian.
Yeah, there it is. That works, man. FBI, full-blooded Italian. No, wait a minute. Exit 148.
You blew it? You blew it, huh?
Somebody. 148, that's right. I think this is my cousin, one of my cousins.
You got a lot of cousins.
You got a lot of cousins.
I don't know.
You told me a funny story
but
once.
it's a New Jersey number.
You told me.
If it's that one, he lives up in Verona, just like I said. He moved from here, he went up to there.
You told me a funny story.
Clean.
Real quick, funny story. You said all the people you grew up with who were complete, just like, vandalism. You just.
Yeah.
Just all of them were just doing all kinds of crazy little.
They all
went to the police force.
Cops.
They became cops.
All my desperado friends all became cops. State troopers, Jersey State troopers,
Licensed
Bricktown.
to terrorize.
Licensed to terrorize.
The thing is, they got busted like numerous times. Some stuff was serious, but and they knew both sides. When they finally grew up a little bit in their early 20s, they said, and some of them went into the military. They came out and said, "All right," and they had great careers in law enforcement. Many of them. So that is funny. And I was the one who was going in that direction and wound up going somewhere else. But that's the way life works. That's fine. And
Sic transit Gloria Mundi.
yes, and I think it's time for. This is great.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I got a card. Okay, that's my little card. I like that thing.
You got?
That's
Can
my
I see
song.
it?
Yes, you can. Here.
Oh, Mark, did you see your card?
Yes.
Oh, did you get Mark a birthday card? Oh, it was his birthday
cupcake, too.
last week.
No, it's right here.
You got cupcakes?
I got all kinds of good
Oh,
stuff.
no, I got to lose weight. I really do.
Oh, Tom, you
All
can't
right,
have it.
do we have
Tom, you
Patrick
can't
on
have
there?
it.
Yep, he's on.
Okay. Patrick's going, I'm busy. What do these guys do? I got a million things to do. Patrick, this is National Security Radio with a little... A what?
NatSec.
NatSec Radio with a little touch of spice, a little sugar to sweeten up the day so that we can just totally destroy the jihadis. That's what this is all about. It's my other cousin. Okay. I thought it was my cousin who lived there, but it's another cousin. I got so many cousins. What's up, cuz? How are you, man? Yeah, this cousin and I won't give you any names because we don't need anybody going after my cousins. That would be a mistake, first of all. You don't want to go after my cousins. They're eating something over there. But this particular cousin of mine, yeah, we do. My father's family had, there were 3 brothers and a sister. Scared you?
Is there any way to open it without opening it? No, I can't see what's in it until later then.
Yeah, there were 3 brothers and a sister that came from Sicily. And the sister, which would be my, what would that be? Something, great aunt or whatever, had 7 kids, and the brothers had respectively 12, 13, and 14. So just on that side, the Trento side, I have a zillion cousins. And I have cousins that are like 80 years old, and cousins that are 30 years old. It's crazy stuff. But in any event, but this is a cousin from the other side. And the Trento side were always the fighters and, And my other side, my mother's side, were the more reasonable. This is one of those cousins. So, hi, how are you, my cousins? But in any event, we have to save the world here and find out what's going on with the jihad in. Oh, we're right on time. Patrick's is 4:15. Hi, Patrick. You there?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. We are. Let me see if I can see you. Can I see him yet?
Should be able to.
Okay, he's coming up. You got rave reviews by some of our listeners and viewers on Friday of what they could see. We had Ustream or something go down. But Mark, do we have the audio?
Yeah, we have the audio. Ustream had very major technical problems last Friday, and tornado.
Any video? Do we have any video?
We have some video on the hard drive. I don't think we have it of the first hour. We have it of the.
Oh, the second. Okay, but we have the audio
We have
track.
audio.
Yeah, we have the audio of your stuff, Patrick.
Which was really good.
It was.
I listened. I didn't watch it. I listened on iHeartRadio.
All right, all right.
And it
wife-
sounded really good.
My wife was listening. And
Thank
she
you.
said It was Patrick. My wife was listening, and she said it was actually an excellent show.
Yes,
She's our best critic.
And she's hard critic.
she is. She's
Yeah.
tough. She's tough.
Hardcore.
Yeah, she is.
Any follow-ups from that first hour last week we need to deal with, or before we get into today's?
Well, give a recap. Give a quick recap.
Well, yeah. Why don't you do a quick recap of your presentation and the discussion on Friday?
I don't even recall what we talked about.
McQueen.
Neither do we. Neither do we. It's fine.
McQueen.
We were hoping you would remember for us.
I mean, our sparkling commentary hasn't changed and embedded itself in your life indelibly. McQueen, McCain, remember McCain? Three-headed
Yes.
McCain. Yes.
Yeah,
yes. You want me to do it for you?
yeah. We talked about John McCain, his fluctuating views. He was against the Muslim Brotherhood, then he was for the Brotherhood, then he was against the Muslim Brotherhood, and yeah.
Patrick doesn't live in Colorado, does he?
No, Patrick lives in an undisclosed place.
Yeah.
But he travels around. He gets around a lot. And if I read that article, the one in the topic of discussion today, you were in that city. Is that what happened?
I'm nearby. I'm in the Phoenix area right now.
Okay. Why don't you?
And give the name of the article. What's the name of the article, Patrick, for people so they go look it up?
Iraqi refugee arrested
For bombing.
Arizona Social Security Office. Media silence ensues at pjmedia.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the deal, folks. Patrick, you just happened to be in the area when this happened. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I'm in the Phoenix area right now, and I was at the Arizona Gun Show at the Arizona State Fairgrounds yesterday.
Buying up those guns before Obama shuts it down.
Well, I couldn't buy any weapons because I'm from out of state, but yeah, we
Okay,
were
well, we
walking
just rolled
around,
out one location for you.
All right. So what happened? You were on a pleasure trip.
I was at the gun show on Friday. I had watched the news about that there had been this bomb at Casa Grande, which is about half hour south of Phoenix, and I had one of the exhibitors there had a copy of the Saturday newspaper on kind of a poll saying Islamic terrorism in Casa Grande, and I started reading it. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I remember this, and lo and behold, the guy who had bombed the office on Friday was a guy by the name of Abdul Latif al-Dosari, who's an Iraqi immigrant. And when I got back, I started, checking online, what were the media stories about this, and virtually all of the, well, in fact, categorically, all of the national and international media, they reported that this bombing had taken place. Most of them noted that somebody had been arrested, but none of them ever identified him. It was only the local newspaper and television stations that even identified this guy by his name. Why was that? And the case I made in the article, PJ Media, which is still up on the website, was, hey, look, if this guy were some Tea Partier who was upset with the Social Security Administration, we'd be hearing about this 24/7 for the next 3 weeks.
And we would never stop hearing about it.
And alas, yeah. So
It was a little delay.
Mm.
yeah, I think I have some a delay here, but
A little
yeah,
delay. It's workable. No problem. Keep going.
And in fact, there's this national, media blackout on the identity of who this guy is. Well, obviously not now, seeing as it's, now running on Drudge. And, I saw that, it's got my article has 15,000 Facebook posts. So,
Wow.
not doing too bad for, 24 hours ago, nobody had ever heard of this guy. So, but it was entirely accidental or providential, depending on your orientation, that I even heard about this at all.
Unbelievable.
Well, listen to this. This was Daily Cause.
Yeah.
Did you see that their article on it on the 30th?
Yeah, and in fact, I updated the article on it where one of the diary guys at Daily Kos, as soon as the bombing happened, immediately blamed the right wing. We don't know who did this, but clearly this is what I've been fearing: is that these nasty right wingers, are going to try and overthrow the government because Barack Obama has been reelected. The black man Barack Obama has been reelected, and it was just feeding his own. The facts were immaterial, and needless to say, the article's not been correct to say, oh, by the way, this guy was a Iraqi refugee, a Muslim refugee. So, shock a monkey. Here's my shock face.
Do you know when this refugee landed in the United States? Was this
He's been here for quite a while. In fact, he's one of the interesting things is he's been on the Department of Homeland Security's radar for at least the past several years, because one of the local media reports at the Casa Grande Dispatch noted that the Department of Homeland Security had asked for him to be prosecuted for making terrorist threats against his former employer in Gilbert, Arizona here. So, and he ended up serving 8 months in prison as a result of that.
Oh.
But the request for the charges actually came from the Department of Homeland Security. So he's been on somebody's radar for a while. Now, I spoke, as soon as I heard about this, I started texting some of my contacts here in the Valley with law enforcement, and I communicated twice with one of my contacts in the FBI Phoenix field office, right. And they said, yeah, we're investigating this as a possible terrorist incident, but the likelihood that he would even be charged with a terrorist act, weapons of mass destruction or something, is not likely, because the federal prosecutors, the U.S. Attorney's Office out here, was going to handle it as just a simple arson investigation. There would be federal explosive charges and state arson charges. And, they're not going to get into the reasons why he might have done this at all because of, quote, the political sensitivities involved, end quote. So, yeah, and we're still waiting to hear. He was supposed to be arraigned today, but I haven't seen any news on that yet, or seen the actual arraignment documents to see what they found out, because they served a search warrant on his house. In fact, that's how the media found out about it. Was the feds went out to his house in Coolidge, Arizona, and served a search warrant, was looking for stuff, and the media basically followed them out there and got the guy's address.
Yeah, I'm looking at this the article that came out quickly from the Cause, and the last paragraph in his short little commentary. Now, this is not an editorial. I mean, he's supposed to be a journalist writing this, but it's perfect propaganda. I mean, if you had to teach a paragraph of propaganda, particularly to close with, it's beautiful. He goes on, the writer, and the writer is by Empty Vessel. They don't even use their names, these guys. Empty Vessel. He concludes, assuming the bombing today in Casa Grande is the product of right-wing extremism. Okay, so he's got the right lexicon, and the assumption is there, which is the inference he's putting in everybody's head. It is already beginning. It is already beginning, and that's this reaction that Patrick was
whatever
talking
it
about.
Might be, right. That's the.
And make no mistake.
And at the end of the day, none of it was factually true.
Right. But listen, let me read his whole conclusion. And make no mistake, if this is right-wing extremism, the difference between this bombing and the Oklahoma City bombing is only in scale. The intent is the same. Destroy the federal government, right-wing. So who do we think this guy is? Is he a jihadi? Is he a whack job? Is he a Republican Iraqi that hates the government? What do we think it is?
Remains to be seen. There's no evidence, and I don't want to be like this empty vessel guy at Daily Kos and go beyond what the facts of the case are. But the facts of the case are, until I published my article last night, nobody had ever heard of this guy outside of the very small area. I have people contacting me in the Phoenix area, friends who know that I'm here, that I had sent the article to, and they're like, we haven't heard anything about this, and we're right here in Phoenix. I also spoke with Deputy Chief of Staff for one of the members of Congress out here in the Phoenix area, and as soon as I found out about it at the gun show, I contacted them and said, "Hey, have you heard anything about this?" And they said, "No, we haven't heard anything about this. Send us anything you have." So it's and this is a member of Congress, in a nearby district, and they hadn't contacted any of the officials, which goes back to something I said on Friday. Is one of the problems we have working on the Hill is that members of Congress are entirely dependent upon the administration for the information they receive. I mean, Congress needs to start being proactive about their information gathering, because in most cases they just don't know unless the administration tells them.
After the first of the year, once we get through all the holidays and everybody's got their heads screwed on looking ahead to 2013, we're going to do a very detailed investigative series into the infiltration of the Brotherhood into the administration. So we'll draw heavily on you. But Mark, you had a concluding question or thought here for Patrick?
Patrick, I don't know if you've heard about the two Kazi brothers that down here in Florida who got arrested last Friday on terrorism charges. I love it. This just what's kind of funny. What you're saying has happened out in Arizona is already the Associated Press, reported by the Washington Post, is saying family defends a Florida brothers charged in terror plot. Say it's a misunderstanding. So they're already trying to throw this out there right from the get-go and quash the whole waters of this whole thing. And it's amazing the amount of disinformation that is coming out of these media sources.
Well, in fact, in the Tukazi case there in Florida, I saw a article in a Pakistani newspaper called Dawn. It's one of the largest English dailies in Pakistan. They were like, "Hey, we've got the family members say that these guys love America. They would never do anything to hurt America." Well, and apparently they were actively involved in a plot that the FBI just happened to find out about. It wasn't one of these sting operations.
It's like when they catch the serial killers and all the neighbors say, "But he was such a quiet boy." Yeah. But you know what? I mean, with this guy in Arizona, I mean, if he's out of work and he threatened his former employer, I mean, maybe he just picked the Social Security office because he wasn't getting his disability or unemployment checks or something, and he's just a disgruntled entitlement recipient.
Could be. We don't know what his intent was. But the fact is, if this guy had even been remotely involved with, the Arizona Tea Party or anything else like that, whether that was his intent or not, that this would be all over the news.
Well, I remember many years ago when I used to read the local crime section of the newspaper every day, and I started to notice that they started leaving out the names of the people in the police blotters who were caught doing robberies and rapes and all this other kind of thing, if they were people of color. Because it was considered racist to identify who the perpetrators of crimes were.
Well, let me ask
and
this
so
question.
they just disappeared down the rabbit hole, and then the only way you could figure out who the criminals probably were was based on the neighborhoods where the crimes happened.
Or you can go to Tea Party Tribune, okay? If you go to the Tea Party Tribune, we got to get our little
supporters
in here.
there,
If you go
yeah.
to the teapartytribune.com, you can get all this information. I don't know if he's dealing with the Quasi brothers and the renegade Iraqi in Casa Grande or whatever the name is. Is it Casa Grande? Is that what it is?
Casa Grande.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Tea Party Tribune is up. That's Tim Lassetti. He will Lassetti made him Italian. Tim Saletti. All his Italian stuff. TeaPartyTribune.com. Good blog, good conservative resource of information. And also you can go there, contact Tim for any web development and money bombs. He puts together some great money bombs. We need a money bomb, is what we need. Hey, Patrick, we just had the picture of the brothers up, the two Quasi brothers. Had you seen them yet?
No, I haven't.
Mike, put that back up. Take a look at them. We got a, not that we're profiling, but we do. I profile. Every time I fly, I profile. I mean, you're crazy if you don't.
I profile at Starbucks.
Yeah, we have a Sharia-compliant beard happening for sure. And the way this works, folks, in the viewing and listening world, Tom Trento, your host here on TrentoVision.tv. And we're also broadcasting, obviously, WNN 1470, 50,000 watts from North Miami, way far north. So if you're driving in your automobile, this is NatSec Radio, National Security Radio, and all things against Obama. We believe that he tactically and operationally is moving the country in such a way as to decrease the economic vitality capabilities of this country, and in a parallel sense to decrease the vitality and capability of our military force, thereby bringing some sort of equanimity to the global scale, thereby suppressing the hatred others have for us and making the world a wonderful paradise. Well, along with that, you've got to decrease your nuclear capability, because if you got nuclear weapons, you're a bad person. So we believe this president is the absolute worst president ever on the face of the earth for the Constitution, the thing we love so dearly. So if you're so inclined to believe as we do, you need to be listening and watching. If you disagree with us, you need to be listening and watching here on TrentoVision.tv.
And then you need to phone in and let us know what you're
You can do that.
thinking
You can do
at
that.
1-888-565-1470, and we will happily take your calls.
And we will send you a cookie through the unique capability we have
we will
of
only
squeezing them down.
send
in
you
here.
cookies through Cookie Vision when you send really
Cookie
big
Vision.
donations.
Yes.
And Patrick, what's the best place to find your information at and your articles and
Pajamas Media.
PJmedia.com.
Yeah.
There's been a name change. It's no longer put your pajamas on and watch the media. Here it's
PJ.
PJmedia.com.
Okay.
PJmedia.com.
Shows how long I've been reading it that I still call it pajamas, right?
Did you see the two brothers there?
Yeah, they were on there.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Did you see the two brothers, Patrick?
Yeah, my I don't know what's up with the internet signal here today, but
Okay.
sorry.
Well,
typically what happens if you go on the Skype and the internet, it slows it down a lot. So.
Well, one of them definitely has a Sharia-compliant beard. Now, what is Sharia-compliant? Get the book, Sharia, The Threat to America. Go to theunitedwest.org, bottom of the page. You'll be able to order it from Amazon or go directly to Amazon. Sharia with an H, ShariaTheThreat.com. And if you order it, have it sent to your home, I will personally send Patrick Poole to your home to autograph it for you, no matter where you are on the face of the earth. You may have to feed him dinner and pour a few drinks, but he will autograph your book. Right, Patrick?
I think Patrick should come to our winter meeting.
But we have a Sharia-compliant beard going on here on the left, and if you read the book Sharia, The Threat to America, you'd see that it references as the font of Islamic jurisprudence, or the codified rule book right now, this green thing. Mark, you have your Reliance with you today? No, you don't have
That's
it.
in the car.
Reliance of the Traveler, name of a book, and in there it provides the everything you need to know as a Muslim to live in such a way as to honor and bless Allah and Muhammad, so that you spend eternity, hopefully, with a fatalistic, nihilistic God in paradise, unless, of course, you blow yourself up trying to kill a Jew or a Christian. Then you get right in if you do one of those things. So, but if you look in the book under beards, you'll see this guy's a jihadi. But we'll withhold judgment at this point.
No judgment.
So anyway,
here.
What else, Patrick, you have going on in your life before we let you go here?
Man.
Was that a grunt or?
That was a meh. You know, it's comme ci, comme ça.
What would you like to tell the folks? Do you need them to read your material? What do you want? You're here, man. You're at Trento Vision. What do you want to tell them?
Does he have a Benghazi update?
Oh, Benghazi update?
Yeah. I'm sure he follows it every day.
Ambassador Stevens is still dead.
Oh no, I heard that downstairs already today.
And Obama is still reelected president. So, all right. Well, we're going to be doing a lot of work on Benghazi. Also, we have followed it carefully with Claire, one of our colleagues, Claire Lopez, and others. And it is very, very critical. In fact, another one of our colleagues, Andy McCarthy, who is a former prosecutor, helped put the blind sheikh in jail, who probably is going to get a get-out-of-jail-free card in the near future and go back to Egypt. That'll be a lot of fun. I do have a question for you. One more question, Patrick. Andy McCarthy has said that the offense, the commander-in-chief offense committed in that 7-hour period is sufficient for impeachment proceedings because of the doctrine of the dereliction of duty, not even bringing in the cover-up of the dereliction of duty. So we're going to stay on this for you folks. But Patrick, what you were huffing?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't sure if Syria was coming up with Patrick or not.
No, I told Patrick we're only going to hold him for 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that memo.
Yeah, if you look on your chart, you'll see Patrick goes off at the 30, and he's already 8 minutes over. And
whose fault's that?
Yeah.
Over.
Hey.
Okay.
We will have you back.
We went out of order a little bit.
We did go out of order a little bit,
all
but
right.
Give his closing thoughts.
Yeah, what are your closing thoughts on today, December 3rd?
Besides, you guys suck. I'm never doing this show again.
Just 21 shopping days left for Christmas.
Go see my article, pjmedia.com.
Wow, that's profound.
Can you text us an update when you do your next update, just in case we're still on the air?
Yeah, I'll fit it in, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gosh, it's so good to see you, Patrick. It's been so long.
Virtue.
Virtue begat prosperity, and the daughter killed the mother.
Yeah, that's the concluding thought, Patrick. So
buy low, sell high.
Okay, take it easy, man. Good talking to you, Patrick Poole, folks. That's one of America's top investigative journalists in the national security sector and counter-jihadi. Patrick spends a lot of time on Capitol Hill. That's the little hill in Washington, D.C., where the House is on one side and the Senate is on the other. And he bangs his head against the wall trying to teach legislators about the Muslim Brotherhood, about the jihad, about Islamic threat, Islamic jihad, about the infiltration of the Muslim Brotherhood in the Obama administration. But you know, this whole thing of fear keeps people from having a clear eye and an open ear to hear what's going on. Everybody's so frightened of Muslims.
I cannot understand that at all.
It's just political correctness just gone amok. And it's,
well, it's fear. It's fear of Muslims. They're afraid.
This AP
Those are the Islamophobes.
I can't believe the Associated Press has put this out. and is just like.
Well, I want to go through this article. I wanted us to go through this.
No. But I'm just what you're saying is it's just going to get worse and worse and worse under Obama. It really is. This whole thing is just not going to get any more clear unless you go to other sources like us or like Patrick.
Under who? You said it's going to get worse under who?
That's going to get worse under Obama. You know.
That Obama?
That Obama.
This is a great song, though.
No, I do like it.
I think every time you say the word
Obama, just to drive it home. I wonder if he's going to change the theme. I hear he doesn't like that theme.
Or whenever I do this, you have to say Obama.
You have to cough.
It's the Manchurian song.
No, well, I'm hearing he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that theme played. But anyway,
Hail to the Chief.
Yeah, he doesn't like that one.
Hell to the Chief.
Hell to the
Is
Chief,
that what you said?
Hell. You know, it's really bizarre. And I've watched him from the early days when he exits Marine One. His salute.
Right?
I
mean, it's like, it's such a weak-handed.
Well, he's making it sharper now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, this re-election has gone to his head. He got re-elected by 1 or 2%, about 2 million votes. Somebody needs to remind him that 10 million people less voted for him this go-around than did in 2008. So he lost 10 million people somehow. He beat a gentleman who's a nice gentleman, but who very few people in the country really want it, particularly the conservatives. So I would not be letting that hubris get too motivated and animated in your life there, Mr. President. The pride comes before the fall.
And there's something has to be in the back of his head that knows that it wasn't a straight up honest election on the turnout and on the votes and stuff.
You mean like in Delray, where one of the guys votes twice and tells his cousin, and they're real happy about it?
The turnout is
it's good.
7 in one area and 900 votes.
Okay, well,
whatever.
Look, but
do you think he cares? Look at all the perks. You guys were talking about this on the radio the other day.
Oh my God.
How many millions of dollars just to get a flight to Hawaii?
Yeah.
They don't care. He doesn't care.
What's the countdown to that? What are we down to 14 days now?
17th. So it's 14 days.
14-day countdown.
There's the potential of everybody doing less damage while the president is away.
We are going to have a blast starting on the 17th. We will track his trip for our viewers and listeners, and we're going to give
We're going to get the travel report.
The travel report and the cuisine report. We're going to tell everyone what Malia and Sasha are having. The lobster tail flown in because they only eat lobster tail from Maine. We're gonna give you all the details of our royal family
and give a quick overview for the people who didn't hear the show Friday what we're actually talking about.
Okay, the royal family, not the one in England, but the one in Washington D.C. at 1600, the one called Obama, that royal family, Michelle and the president and the 2 children and Sparky the dog.
No.
What's his name?
Sparky was it Bo? Bo the dog.
Bo, okay.
Bo, who's
Bojangles.
Who's pooper walker? Okay, is paid $100,000 a year to carry around poop bag for Bo.
The dog handler for the Obamas makes $100,000 a year.
Well,
the cost of managing the dog.
No wonder Taco Bell can't hire anybody.
Yeah. I want that job. I want to walk the dog job. How do I get that job?
No wonder everybody at McDonald's wants to double their pay.
What's up, bro? I want to walk your dog, man. You know, the Obamas are gonna. They work very hard. Campaigning is difficult.
For their money.
They're leaving on the 17th, leaving Washington D.C. They're headed to Aloha, a little island in Hawaii, and a little very exquisite and phenomenally expensive resort area. But they're flying over there, they're taking. Let me see what we got here. They're going first class on. Oh my God! There's the dog walker.
That's the official first dog walker.
The official first dog, $100,000.
For those of you who are watching on TrentoVision.tv, we put up the dog walker coming off of an airplane, and the guy's carrying dog bags and unbelievable. See, now, but George Bush did it and Bill Clinton did it. No, it's different. When your guy runs on the fact that he's one of you, that the economy is the worst, virtually the worst it's ever been in the United States of America.
That he feels your pain.
He feels your pain, and he hugs you. He flies to New Jersey, my home state, smacks around Christie a little bit with love and kisses, and Christie evaporates and oozes all over the ground because of Obama. Oh, there's the dog. And he hugs the old ladies when President Obama hugs the old ladies, I'm with you. And then he pays $100,000 when people are starving. And that starving thing's interesting. We'll talk about that. And then he flies for $200,000 to fly from Washington to Hawaii. I look for $200.
Tom, a little correction on your figure. That's $200,000 an hour.
Oh, that's right. Air Force One is $200,000 an hour.
Is that per person?
An hour. No, you can fit the 4 people in there. That's 9 hours one way, right. 1.8 million. Right. 9 hours back, 3.6 million. $3.6 million. I'll buy an airplane, fly them there, guarantee their protection. I charge them $1 million. Okay, I pocket the half of the change. Kick back some to the taxpayer. How about that deal?
Well, this is the guy who tells people at a certain point you've made enough money and you have enough stuff, and he supports Occupy Wall Street, and he hates people who work for a living and earn their money. But if you don't actually work for it and you want to be treated like a royal, go ahead.
Now watch this. Watch this. Every voter, when we talk about this stuff and expose this hypocrisy, every person who voted for him should have a sense of shame. I mean, there should be a sense of some indecency, some hypocrisy, some shame that they're supporting someone that is such a outright fraud. But when this happens, can you read that quote again?
Virtue begat prosperity, and the daughter killed the mother.
When that happens, what is he? He's walking the dog in water. On water, I see it. Yeah, when that happens, when virtue is no longer a consideration, and you kill virtue with what you perceive as prosperity, then the shame dissipates with that too. And a little bit of your self-worth dissipates. And for those of you supporting this fraud president, particularly as he leaves for a vacation, and you don't see the hypocrisy and the absolute contradiction in this, then you're losing a little part of what it means to be human, because this is completely wrong.
Just a quick...
Go to hell to Disney World and stay in the States and spend some money in Disney World. Save the taxpayers' money.
I don't know if you heard how much it was to cater.
Oh, it goes up from there, of course. Tell her.
To protect the... Well, first of all, let's give a little... because, these numbers, millions, billions, whatever, get thrown around so much you have no idea which is which. To give you an idea, the royal family, the real royal family over in the UK, Queen Elizabeth with all her pomp and all her circumstance and all the floats, all the family, all the parties, the Queen Mother, everything, the guards in the front, the whole 9 yards, to protect the stones and everything. You remember what we said Friday was the total cost for that for the entire year?
I remember.
What?
$60 million.
$60 million the whole year.
Wow.
In comparison.
And she works hard to really serve her country, that lady.
She runs
and has.
And actually, I like her. She. The Queen Mother, she was there during World War II.
Her son is looking for her to kind of step out of the way here,
But still, she goes all the way back to World War II, where she's actually in the bomb shelters with the people, didn't leave London during the whole Blitz, the whole 9 yards. Really a classy woman.
Yeah, no, she is.
And just for the president, to take care of all his needs, all his trips, to fly Michelle to lunch, to breakfast, to everything, and all other stuff. You remember that figure, Tom?
Yes, I do. Numbers stick in my head. $1.4 billion.
20 times more.
$1.4
just to take care of our little royal family. That does include the senators and the congressmen and everything else, like it, you know.
And now we are headed toward the what? The fiscal cliff.
And for 20 days, he's going on a $4 million. That's just a plane flight alone, for $4 million just to go fly out to Hawaii.
I'm going to give everybody a little mnemonic class, okay, to understand the fiscal cliff, what it means, because you hear this kind of this generic term, you go, what does it mean? Well, the fiscal cliff, and he's going to make us go over the cliff. Well, we knew that he was going to go over the cliff. The fiscal cliff includes basically 5 components. There's a little bit of information. Get your pencils out. One of the components is the expiration of George Bush's tax cuts. Right. George Bush put some tax cuts in, so we have more money in our pocket, so that we could be more productive, spend more money, and there's a net benefit when you keep more of your payroll.
Right.
A second element of the fiscal cliff is the automatic $55 billion in defense cuts. This was negotiated when the debt ceiling issue at the end of 2011 couldn't be resolved. And the corollary, $55 billion in domestic cuts necessarily. So they're just going to be like with a hatchet. The fourth component of the fiscal cliff is the expiration of 99 weeks of what? Of
unemployment benefits.
And in New Jersey, that's like $500, $600 a week.
I was talking to some Obama supporters over the weekend who received talking about how they received their letter from the governor. The governor is sending out letters to people who are receiving unemployment benefits in the state of Florida to let them know that if they're on the extended benefits,
right.
And if Congress doesn't renew it, in other words, if we go over the fiscal cliff, that they will no longer be receiving unemployment benefits. Not telling them what to do, but I'm presuming from the letter, better call your congressman if you want to keep getting those checks, because the state of Florida is not going to be sending them to you. If we don't get that money from the federal government. And of course, they were Obama voters.
All right, and so the expiration of 99 weeks, and the fifth component of the fiscal cliff is a cut in the reimbursement for doctors in Medicare. So the doctors are just going to get sliced and diced, right? So those 5 things comprise this this term fiscal cliff. I put a little acronym together to make it easy for everybody to remember these 5 pieces of information. And the acronym reads DUMB Dems, okay? Dumb Democrats, D-U-M-B. D is a cut in defense, D, the first D. U is unemployment, going bye-bye, you know, the 99 weeks is going to expire. M stands for Medicare, that the doctors are going to get their payments cut. B stands for the Bush tax cuts. And the other D is the Democrats don't want to cut anything domestic. It stands for the domestic cuts, the $55 billion. So one way for everybody to remember the fiscal cliff, what it's composed of, D-U-M-B, dumb Dems, D-E-M-S. And the EMS doesn't matter. It's just a dumb D.
Well, we're all going to need emergency medical services,
yes,
right?
Yes, we will. Oh, man. And we're rushing
because the jihadis are going to blow us up. And
all we need to do is tax the rich, and that'll all be solved.
Well, here's the problem. President Obama gets a twofer if this whole thing blows up, the fiscal cliff. If the economy gets shattered, there's more crises, more chaos, which means more centralized control from the federal government, okay? It's to his benefit in terms of implementing his ideology, which is an anti-colonial ideology, an egalitarian ideology. It's to his benefit to have more chaos in society because the peasants that voted for him, now when there's chaos, where do you think they go? They look right back up.
Back up
to royalty, help us, help us. So if there's fiscal chaos, then certainly the military is going to be impacted by that. And his 2 goals of decreasing the military capability, decreasing the fiscal capability is achieved, and we are dead ducks. But guess what? Here at Trento Vision with CJ, Mark, Mike, and myself, we will lead you out of this to the promised land of being obstructionistic people and insurgency in America in 2013. We'll be right back.
Yep, that means you, Blake.